Hey guys, the Tech Wannabe here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on this, the Razer Viper Ultimate. And also talk about why I picked this mouse over some of the competition that it now has. Because it's a mouse that I actually had about a year ago, got rid of, and now I've bought it again as I'm starting to play FPSs again, and I needed something for that. Now, I'm going to start with like a standard review and then talk about parts that led me into deciding to go with this a little bit later on in the video. Now, this is a new way of me presenting my videos, so if you like the way that I'm doing it now, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to catch more reviews from yours truly. So let's start by taking a look at what's actually in the box. Sorry, I know this is boring, but it's got to be done, right? You're going to get the mouse, duh, obviously. You also get a charging dock if you buy the version that comes with it. Now, quick note on that, the version that I have here with the dock and everything is coming in at only about 100 quid or dollars at the moment. It's an absolute steal, okay? Because they usually charge 50 quid for just that alone. Technically, the mouse is only costing you 50 quid here. Really, really, really nice. So yeah, you get the mouse, you get the dock, the dongle, you actually find that inside the mouse there. I'll show you in just a second. The dock comes with a Razer SpeedFlex cable as well. Annoying thing about the cable, now you can plug it into the end of the mouse if you need a charge and play, which is not going to be very often because this thing charges like lightning. Also, it lasts forever, I think about 70 hours. Pretty much never need it to charge, especially if you just get into the habit of putting it on the dock at the end of a session. But the cable has a proprietary head, okay? I'm gonna leave that in, screw it. So if you lose it, if you break it, you're probably gonna need to get a new one from Razer, and I can't imagine that's the cheapest and quickest thing to have to do. I don't know if you can see there, but it's kind of like embedded into the mouse. Kind of annoying. But at least it's, like I said, a SpeedFlex cable, so it's nice and light and flexible. It's about as close to feeling wireless as you get while still wired. So, I don't know, props for that, but get rid of the micro USB, make it a universal USB-C for God's sakes. You get your standard Razer paperwork as well, the little certificate and some stickers to stick on your door so everyone knows you're super duper cool. And that's it for the boxing. So we're going to move on to what the mouse is actually like itself, what it's made of. And well, it's made out of plastic and rubber, but it's a really nice textured plastic on the top that doesn't catch oil or sweat. So I find it very grippy even when I'm using it for a long time. The rubber sides, now these are something that I've seen a lot of reviewers really not like. I love them though. I really like the way that these feel. They add quite a nice bit of grip and sort of texture to the sides. Though, I guess they do kind of get, if you have sweaty hands, they hold the wetness. Does that make sense? They hold the wetness quite well, which can be a bad thing because it makes the rubber then slippy. But overall, I really like the build quality of it because it just feels nice in my hand. And I think for something that I'm going to be using for long periods of time, I want it to feel nice, right? It's 74 grams. Now that is really light, but it's not the lightest super light mouse anymore. However, if you're coming from like a conventional mouse, this is going to feel really weird to begin with. You're going to get, it's going to take some time for you to get used to it. But for first person shooters, I think lighter is better, and 74 grams is damn light. Then moving on to the clicks. Now I'm going to get this one out of the way first. The side buttons are absolutely shit. They really are. They're very in line with the mouse. Now, I don't know if you guys can see too, I'm filming on my phone, so I apologize. But I don't know if you guys can see, but how flush with the side of the mouse these are. They're impossible to touch. They're on both sides. It's an ambidextrous mouse. You get them on both sides, which is something you don't see too often. But again, they're not very easy to hit. And when you do that, they're kind of spongy. Can you hear how soft that is? It's not fantastic. I don't use them in the games that I use this mouse for, so it's not a problem for me, but if you're someone who makes a lot of use of those, bear in mind that they suck ass here. Next, I think the scroll wheel is pretty decent, has a really nice grippy texture on the top, so it's pretty easy to catch. It's relatively stiff, I have medium stiffness, it's not super light, but it's not too bad either. But the click in is kind of difficult, so again, something worth bearing in mind if you use that a lot in your games. And then the main clicks, these are actually really nice. So the Viper used to have a bad reputation for spongy clicks. They since fixed that with the later models. Really nice and snappy. You can probably get a good listen there. Not bad. Really, really responsive. No problems with that whatsoever. And speaking of responsiveness, if you're one of those people that are concerned about wireless and optical switches not being as good as what you're used to, these things are lightning fast. Honestly, the input delay is non-existent. Don't worry about that. Wireless mice are the way forward. Just go for it. And then on the bottom, I did say I'd show you, there's a little place to hold the USB dongle, which is there. Quite small, don't lose it. And then you also have 100% PTFE feet on the bottom as well. Now, something I didn't really notice about these until it was pointed out to me is that they're really, really thin, like super thin. So whether that's going to affect how long they last or not, I don't know. I guess time will tell, but it's worth noting that they are really thin. So if you want something a little bit thicker, then you're going to have to go after market. As far as the glide goes, I use a cloth mouse pad, a Corsair MM500. It feels nice. It's nothing special. It's not like icy glides or it's not something that's applying a lot of friction. It's what I expected, but it's not special. So it's a nice touch, but it's nothing to really go out and buy the mouse right away for. And then two last things to mention on the bottom of the mouse, you have the two charging pins, which are magnetic, so it just snaps into place when you're putting it on the dock. And then the Focus Plus sensor, it goes up to 20K DPI. Really, I don't know how to review a sensor. They're all just really damn accurate and good now. There's hard to say much special about a particular sensor. But this does have one feature that a lot of others don't have, and that is that it will automatically adjust to the surface it's being used on, which is a really nice touch, because if you guys remember doing that figure of 8 thing with your mouse to tune it to your mouse pad, you don't need to do it here. You can if you want, but the mouse will do it by itself. So it's a new feature that's just convenient, but other than that, the sensor's fantastic. Nothing else to say, really. And then for the shape of the mouse, finally, it's a really nice, accessible, ambidextrous shape. It's quite low profile, and it's relatively wide as well. I don't know if you're getting a good look at that from my phone there, but for me, I have quite small hands, quite wide hands. I find this a really comfortable mouse to hold. And in general, from a lot of the reviews that I've watched, again, the shape was praised as one of the nicest things about this mouse. And I think if you've never used a super light mouse, or you've never used something focused at first-person shooters like this is going to be one of the safer bets for you. And that really leads me quite nicely into talking about why I've picked this over, say, like the super light from Logitech that's just come out, or the Model O wireless. And first of all, it's the shape, right? And this is going to be one of the most important factors when you're buying a mouse, is the shape. Is it something similar to what you've used before? If so, then you're going to have a good idea if you're going to like it or not right off the bat, and you should be going in that direction. Second of all is materials. Are you going to like the materials it's made of? Like I said earlier, some people hate this rubber. Some people hate this rubber to death. I love it, so there's no problems there for me. And then like some people love the Logitech, where it's just an all smooth plastic, whereas I hate that. Again, that's only something that you're going to be able to answer for yourself, and definitely should be a major consideration before you buy anything. But yes, the shape's more accessible. I like it. It's really nice in my hand compared to the Logitech, which is a little bit too long, a little bit too high for me, so I can't comfortably get a grip on it. And I use fingertip, by the way. And then the Model O, it's honeycombed, and I hate the honeycomb feel. I don't like it at all. And to be fair, in my house, that thing's gonna get chock full of dust instantly, and I'm not for that. Because at the end of the day, all of these mice are gonna perform relatively the same. What's gonna set them apart is how it feels in your hand, and those things you're gonna have to sort of really decide from your own point of reference. If you honest to God don't have any, this is probably going to be the safest shape to go with. And again, for £100 now, £100, $100, wherever you're buying it from, with the charging dock, you're getting pretty much the best value for the mouse out of this. The Model O is about £80, but doesn't come with a dock. And the Logitech is at £140, £130, but that's if you can even find one in stock. These days, I think if you actually want to get one, you're going to have to pay some ridiculous prices to some bastard scalper who's selling it at like, what, 3 times MRSP? And it's probably not going to be in stock for like another 6 months on the Logitech website. So realistically, if you're looking to buy right now, this is probably your only choice anyways. And that's not a bad thing. I really, really like this mouse. I came from, I think before I used this, I had the Logitech G502, moved to this, completely different shape. Loved it ever since. So it gets my seal of approval. I think it's a fantastic mouse, and for what it cost, It's great value for money too. Well, I think that's pretty much everything I needed to say about that mouse. Actually, there is one thing I wanted to say about the mouse. Hold on. This is important. If you made it this far, thank you. But there is one important thing I wanted to say about this mouse. If you own two wireless Razer mice, there is a potential issue you may run into, because I have. If you have both the dongles plugged in at the same time, the mice sometimes get disconnected during use. So I'll be playing like Apex Legends and it'll just stop responding for 10 seconds. And it's solved by removing one of the dongles. But if you're using the charging dock, which you should be, you can just swap them out here. So you plug one in, take it out, plug in the other, and that's that problem solved. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's something for the small collection of people that actually own two of these mice to bear in mind if they're having connection issues. And that really is it. Okay, that was it. And this video was off the top of my head. There's no script here. I've pretty much just stood in front of my camera and recorded. If you liked how it came out, again, please give the video a thumbs up because it helps promote it. And if you really like the content, hit that subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. And until the next one, take care of yourself. It's been the Tech Wannabe. Bye-bye.